Today, I am joined with one of my former clients. Her name is Halle. And I had the pleasure of working with Halle two times. She reached out to me after the birth of her first child, and then again a couple years later after the birth of her second child. And so Halle had a weight loss goal. That was like her initial goal, and just trying to manage, like, okay, now I have like these two kids and I'm working full time. And I have this, I want to feel like myself again, feel like healthy, strong. And so we stopped working together in August, but in our time together, like we worked together this last time a little over a year. And so Halle, where are my notes? Halle in a year lost 21 pounds and a total of 21.4 inches. And so I'm really excited to talk to Halle today because I think her story is just will resonate with so many people. I honestly think it's like so realistic and what so many moms go through. So thank you, Halle, for joining me.
Of course.
I guess like the simplest place to start would be maybe take me back to like after you had your second kid, because you had some tools, we had worked together, but like tell me like what your life was, day to day before you like started back up again, like with the program. Like what was your lifestyle like? What did your days look like?
Survival mode. Having a
Yes.
3-year-old and a newborn was a lot. A very active 3-year-old at that. And it truly was survival. I had my second son in July. I ended up going back to work 3 weeks later for a month to kind of get the school year started. So that was a huge adjustment. And then when I was on maternity leave, I still was, because I just want to help and work when I can. So I had a hard time turning my work mom or work woman and mom mode off. So I was still semi-working while I was on maternity leave, and my oldest had just started preschool. So it was just going here and there every day on leave, and then going back to work as a full-time mom or full-time job with the two boys. So I was in survival mode and it was a newer job. So it was a lot.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. I always used to chuckle when like you meet someone, they're like, how are you enjoying your time off? Like when you like have like, like you're taking your leave and you're like, you don't have kids, right? Because like it is, yes, it's amazing. You get to spend time, with your newborn, but like, it's a grind. You're like, you're on like a 2-hour schedule, right? Like, and then to know that like you were like working, like you didn't really have like that, I guess, what was maybe more of a stereotypical like leave with your first son. You were like kind of working because it was this new job and whatever. So like, that's a lot. So survival mode. I think we all know what that means. Like, you're like, okay, we need to eat at some point. I don't really care what it is. We're just gonna get it on the table. I think you've bathed. Maybe I've bathed. Who knows? Like, so yeah, it's a cluster. Okay. So then you got to a point where you're like, okay, what made you decide to like reach out again?
Sorry, the youngest is.
Speaking of, he's like, were you talking about me?
Yeah. I'm sorry. What was that question now?
What made you say like, okay, I think I need some help here? Like,
so it was, I don't even think he was a year yet. So it was towards the end of the school year, and there was just a lot going on at school, a lot with him. And I had just really gotten to a place where I was not happy. To be honest, I didn't like looking in the mirror. I didn't want to really do things or go out because I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like how I was feeling. And it was just kind of like a breaking point. And I obviously had worked with you before and had success then. So I got to the point where I can no longer not do anything. And I'm like, this needs to change. And I need help. I knew I needed help to hold me accountable, or else it wasn't going to change.
Man, I think I feel like, a lot of women will resonate with what you just said about like, just like not liking what you saw in the mirror. But I feel like it's particular to like a postpartum period is like, it's just
Mhm.
different than like regular, like, oh, I just don't like the way my body looks in this dress or something. It's
Yeah.
like after you had a kid, you're in this like, okay, I don't really like my body is different. And like it's you're trying to give yourself grace because you grew a human. It's like a big effing deal. And then you're like, okay, I feel like I can, there's like enough time where you have like some um habits or routines in place, like maybe you have more help or you're going back to work, and then it's like, I'm still kind of feeling like not like myself. And so for you, you're saying like the accountability was going to be really big in
Yes.
helping you like or helping you accomplish your goal.
Yes, without a doubt.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So as you like we were working together, what did you, I guess, fast forward to like 3, 4, 6 months in, like what
Mhm.
was different versus like when you first started, where you're like first starting survival mode,
Mhm.
don't know what day it is, this is like what's going on in my life. And then 6 months from that point, what was different in your day or your
Um,
life?
I was tracking my food. Getting the workouts from you was so helpful, and it was geared toward me, which I think that's what was the most realistic. Was it's not like I'm paying this program or that's one size fits all. It I started gradually, which was big for me, and seeing that progress kind of like it motivated me because I'm like, oh, I'm moving up in and doing a different workout, or I'm moving up in weights. Um, so that consistency of tracking my food, that was daily, knowing what foods were, even just what foods to eat, protein, high fiber. Um, that was a total shift because I'm like, oh, I can eat chicken all day, but then I get sick of it. I'm like, okay, where else can I find my protein? And so doing that, I would eat breakfast every day, which I usually didn't.
You know,
And
survival mode doesn't
yes,
necessarily mean eating.
yes. So
Like,
just the the day to day of, or even week to week of having consistent workouts, and knowing what to eat and tracking that, that was probably the biggest day to day change from
mm.
what was
So you went from excuse me, like survival mode where you're like not even really paying attention to those things, right?
Mhm.
To basically being like, okay, if I have like a weight loss goal, I want to get strong again. Um, Understanding how that looked and fit into your lifestyle, with your schedule, with the foods you liked, and then understanding like, oh, this has a lot of fiber in it.
Mhm.
Here's some other like here's ways to get some more lean protein, like, and
Mhm.
then just like being consistent with it. I think like that's honestly like when working together with you, like I think that was like really like a theme. Like
Mhm.
you were seeing changes because you were consistent,
Yeah.
like yes, it's important to obviously, if you want to lose weight, to be in a calorie deficit. And
Mhm.
yes, the workouts are going to help and all the things, but they don't really matter if you can't consistently do the stuff. And
Mhm.
so you were consistently taking action. But I think it's really important, caveat,
Yep.
asterisk, is like taking action doesn't always mean it wasn't like this linear journey where it was like I started here and like I said to you, you lost like 21 pounds in a year.
Mhm.
um and and so it wasn't like, oh, it just went slowly
No.
down like the whole
No.
year. It was fine. It was like and then back up. And then because what I think is a really important note is weight loss isn't linear. I wish it was. I wish it was just like, oh,
Yep.
we lose a half a pound a week and then blah, blah, blah. Because of life and like you're
Mhm.
working, there was times and you had vacations, like you were
Yep.
living life, which is real. So you had points where you went into maintenance, which is, for anyone who doesn't know what that means, it means that you just basically say, okay, I'm not going to be actively looking to be in a calorie
Mhm.
deficit during these periods, or it even could be like around your period, anything where like your hunger is going to change, whatever. And so Hallie had like multiple periods of maintenance during this year thing where it wasn't like the 365 days of a calorie deficit. It was
Yeah.
calorie deficit for chunks of time and then little maintenance breaks just because of life.
And I think that was the biggest lesson I learned because I will be honest, in the past, I would even before having my second or even my first, I would lose some weight and then life would happen. I would gain maybe a few pounds back, but then I would just get in this mindset of, well, that was wasted. I gained weight. What's the point now? And I honestly would spiral and gain even more weight and then not work out. And so that's probably the biggest thing I learned working with you and even talking with you during our check-ins is this is life. And if I want this to be consistent or manageable while still being able to live my life the way I have, it's going to go up and down. And I'm not going to just, like, as much as I wish, like you said, it's just linear and you can lose weight this quick and this much, this fast. It's not realistic. And that was the biggest takeaway was it's going to take time, and I can have those periods of ebbs and flows, what you would say, and it's okay. That's life. And that's how I'm going to be able to maintain this and continue to lose as if I just ride the wave.
Right. And I think like that's like, I think when people think of like weight loss goals, they think weight loss is the only product of being successful. And I think if you lose weight, amazing. If you maintain the weight, equally amazing. Like they're like neck and neck. And so when we have these, like shit storms that we go through in life of like, oh my God, the job or this or whatever, like life throws at us. If you can just maintain that 4 to 8 week period or whatever it is, that is a big win. That's as good as losing weight. If you've lost like 10 pounds at that point and you maintain that weight loss and like, that's it. That's huge because that's essentially what you're going to have to do once you reach your goal anyway, is maintain it and like learn to manage the lifestyle. So that's honestly like makes me so happy to hear like you're like, oh, that's a big lesson because yeah, like the scale's going to go like this day to day. It's just, that's what it does because our body has different liquids every day. Like, or we sleep different. There's so many other factors that can affect a scale weight daily. We care about the trend over time. And then just maintaining when life gets crazy. So I love hearing you say that. So I guess we stopped working together in August, which seems like last year, which I guess it almost is, but like August seems so far, like long ago.
It really does. It really, really does.
Like when I was preparing for this, I was like, oh, we stopped in August. I really feel like it was like August of 2024, not of this year. Because that's like, yeah. So that seems like a lifetime ago, but that was what, 5 months ago? No, 4 months. 4 months, 5 months. That's August, September, October, November. Yeah, 4 months. So in the time that you've been on your own doing life, like tell me what's been going on. Like, have you feel like I think you were saying before we jumped on, life has been really busy.
Yes. So unfortunately we stopped and in one of those storms of life.
Yeah.
And so it has been hard to get into my routine. I also think I mentally just needed a little break of tracking. Totally. So I just did it visually. And since August, like I said, I've been in the ebbs and flows. But the biggest thing, like I mentioned earlier, was I'm maintaining, which is huge because, like I said, before working with you, I would have been in this just storm and continue to spiral down, where now I'm just maintaining, coasting, like know what to do it when I can, eating when I can. So it's where I'm at now. But it's maintenance, so I'll take it.
No. That I love this so much because, like you said, your track record, so to speak, in the past, you would get into a busy season and then you'd be like, I can't do anything. And then it would just lead to another week. And then before you know it, it's like 6 months or a year has gone by. And then you're like, oh, I'm like in the same spot where I was. And what you're saying is, hey, I'm not doing all the things. Like you haven't been able to maybe do your workout routine or you're not tracking, which is okay. Like the goal isn't to track for life. The tracking gives you an idea of like what those portions look like, you
Mhm.
know, all that stuff, and making those lifestyle shifts of what choices work for you and your lifestyle. So you're doing that, and maybe you're probably getting some steps here and there, like,
Mhm.
but you're maintaining because of those lifestyle habits, which that's the goal. That's the goal.
It is.
So that's a huge win. That's awesome. And
Thank
then if you still have some whatever you want to work on,
you.
then you're like, oh, I can start up. Like it sounds like I
Yep.
can start up when da da da. And like that's, I think that's the biggest takeaway. It's like it's okay if you can't do all the things. What's
Mhm.
like the one or two things you can do, or what's the one thing you can do? I think
Yep.
that's so realistic. So what are you excited about moving forward? Like what's on your horizon? What are you looking forward to?
Getting back after this little break, not
Yep.
the maintenance.
Yeah.
I do have a few more pounds I would like to lose to be at my
Hmm.
goal weight.
Hmm.
So just getting back into the routine of working out, and I do want to get back to tracking, because I know that that helps me get to that
Like
weight
when,
loss.
yeah, got you. Okay.
So yes, definitely do
Mhm.
that. And just continue back on, because I do notice too mentally a difference when I am tracking and working out, and I just feel better. Might not want to
Mhm.
do it at the time,
Oh,
but
yeah.
after I do it, I feel a lot better. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm like setting small goals for myself to get there, and so I'm looking forward to that.
That's awesome. I'm really, really pumped for you. And I have no doubt you can do it because you've like proved to yourself you can do it because you've
Mhm.
had a couple years of like repping it out and like you just understanding too that like, oh, it's okay. I'm in a busy period. I know how to maintain this.
Yes.
Then I'll get after it again, work towards my goal. And then the goal, like I said, the goal isn't to like track. Like no one wants to track everything they eat
Oh,
forever. That's dumb. But if you have a weight loss goal, it's the most efficient way to get there because you, whatever. And
mhm.
then you like get there and then you're back to maintaining and not
Yes.
tracking. So that's awesome. I love that. I love
Thank
it, Hallie.
you.
I guess when you think back, and I think you probably touched on a lot of it already, but when you think back to like, okay, Hallie in survival mode or like don't know what day it is, like what the heck, not feeling great about yourself, um just like not even recognizing yourself, like what would you, I guess, what advice would you give her, or I guess maybe advice isn't the right word. I guess like what do you when you're reflecting on that now, like
Mhm.
where do you feel about like yourself now? Is it as you have like as you've gotten through this whole period and had these major mindset shifts, like when you're like picking out clothes or like when you're like in pictures, like any of that change for you?
Yes, I'm taking more pictures. I'm fitting into clothes I was able to fit into before. Some I still have a little bit to go.
Hmm.
But I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of how far I've come. And I would tell myself a few years ago to, if I could go back and talk to her, I'd say, you're going to get there. You're going to find a way that's realistic, that fits for your lifestyle and who you are. And like, I know how I am, and
Hmm.
you're going to get there. You just need to start. That's the biggest thing, is you need to start. So,
Oh, Hallie, I love that so much. Like so many, that's great. Just like you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need to know like your 12-month plan or what you just need
mhm,
to do something. Like, and starting for someone could be just go out and walk and then
mhm.
try and add on that or whatever it is, if it's not like working with a coach or whatever. But I'm so pumped for you. Thank you so much for talking about it. I do think it's so, I say resonate because like it resonates with me. I'm a working mom who like helps people do this. So I just think it's so realistic of like so many women go through, and it gives you like a realistic, clear path forward that yes, it'll take time. Like this was a year journey for you and you're still on it, but
Mhm.
it sounds like you have these tools now to where you're like, oh, I know how to do this. Like
Mhm.
I know what needs to happen once I weather this storm. And you're not, yeah, I don't know. I'm just really, really pumped for you. So thanks so much for sharing it. And
Thank you for your
yeah,
help
I look,
and
yeah,
guidance
no,
with this
no
whole thing.
problem. No problem. I look forward to checking in another couple months and just see how you're doing.
Absolutely. Cannot wait.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Hallie, and we'll speak soon.